Hey guys, so this video we're going to be talking about how to get news articles, historical news articles using the Interactive Brokers API with IB and Sync. And then we're going to do something fun. We're going to classify these articles. We're going to give them sentiment scores for like the headline and for the text itself using GPT-4 or GPT 3.5 or some other OpenAI API model. We can also show you how to get embeddings for the article. So first, let's talk a little bit about the OpenAI's API, and then we'll talk about the interactive brokers, how to get the news articles and that sort of thing. So we can click the link on interactive brokers API. We can do a sign up if you haven't signed up yet, to pull up a credit card for some tokens. So I'll do get started. Continue with Google. Okay, so now that I logged in, so a few things to know. There's like a quick start tutorial. It gives you some examples. But what I'm using is if you go to prompt examples, you get all these examples. Specifically, I'm using an idea from tweet classifier. So given a model and you write a tweet, they'll give you positive, negative, or neutral. We're going to do some sort of spin-off of this. And I'll explain it in a second. So just real quick, you can do a lot of things like fine-tuning, all this stuff. But for some of these models, you're going to need API keys. So you can create a new secret key here, copy and paste it and use it. I guess the best practice is to make it like a system variable and not hard code it, but I'm not using the best practice. You might have to add tokens, add some money, but if you go to usage, it shows you how much you're using. One more thing to look at is that if you go to API reference, documentation, you have models. So you can, for a lot of these things, choose which model you want. So for the completions, you have like certain models. GPT 3.5 Turbo is what it's like a cheaper model. It's what I'm going to use for most of the examples. But GPT-4 is much better. And if you want better results, you should use GPT-4, but it's more expensive. But anyways, and then there's also like models for like embeddings. We're gonna later show an example. There's for embeddings, there's a model called like ADA embeddings. Where did it go? ADA. I guess it's probably in the tutorials. Um, it's in the tutorial somewhere. Sorry. Where is it? Quick start tutorial. Is it here? Nope. It might be in the embeddings. Sorry, Explore API embeddings, and then you can get like an embedding for the article and that sort of thing. So this was in the Explore the API. Okay, so let's get to work. Okay, so first let me show you. You can do from OpenAI, import OpenAI. You write your key, and then you do client equals OpenAI, API key equals Open API key. I personally, you don't need to do this for every single one. I think for 3.5, you don't need to write the API key. I guess we'll check it in a second, but let's talk about like the API in general. So yeah, so see, like I'm trying 3.5 here, 3.5 Turbo. And so what we're going to use is the completions API. So like we write response equals client dot chat dot completions dot create. And then we specify the model. Here's GPT 3.5 Turbo and the messages. The role as the system, this is what we want it to do. You will be provided an article, and your task is to classify its sentiment on Tesla stock specifically as positive, neutral, or negative. And then I write at the end, only say one thing, because if you don't write that, and it's a long article, it's going to try to explain why Tesla's positive, why Tesla's negative, all that stuff. And then it doesn't just give you the value. You want one value. I want one value. So like, let's say I'm running this, and it's interesting because here it says Tesla is a must buy, Nvidia is tanking. Obviously it's the opposite, but let's just show you what you get. You get this response thing, and in the response thing you have choices. And then in choices, you have zero, and then you have dot message, and then you have dot content, and it's positive, which it makes sense. Tesla's a must buy, Nvidia's tanking. But if you were to switch the thing, you would do like Nvidia is a must buy, Tesla is tanking, which seems like that's how it has been lately. So as you see, this is negative. So it's good to see. Temperature gives you like how like random it is. So like zero means less random, a higher number means more random. But we put zero because we want similar results every time. So now let me show you another example. Let's say we don't want to just classify into positive, neutral, or negative. We want like a 1 to 100 score or something. So we can do something similar, but we can say like uh, you will be again role system content. You will be provided an article, and your task is to classify its sentiment on Tesla stock specifically between 1 and 100. And then I write only return the numerical value because if you don't write that, of course, it's going to explain why it's the case. It might also return sentiment score colon 112, it's 70 or something, and we just want the actual number. So let me do again temperature is zero to make it like less random. So again, let's see the response. So the message was Tesla is a must sell, Tesla buyback. So this is weird because must sell is bad, buyback is good. So I wonder what it gives us. It gives us 10. So I guess maybe if you do we'll try this same example with GPT-4. It's interesting. So if we just write Tesla buyback, we'll see we get 100. It's funny. Okay, so a buyback is good, but if you do must sell, it dominates everything. So okay, this was of course using 3.5 turbo. Let's try the same thing except model is GPT-4, and then let's write content. Um, let me just let me just write GPT-4. This also will check that you need the API key for this. Let me just check. Um, maybe I have the API key written somewhere, and like I have it in the system variable, and automatically it's taking it. I think that's what I have. I have it in a. I think I have the API key in the environment variables. Um, I have the OpenAI API key here, so that's why it works. Okay, sorry. So that's the way people usually do it. But like you can just write API key equals OpenAI API key. But if you don't, I think the default is it looks at OS dot environment variables. So here you see it's much smarter, the GPT-4, by the way. It says Tesla is a must sell and Tesla buyback. This is a bad thing and a good thing. It gives it 50. So I think that's cool. That it's a little bit better. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But like, okay, we'll get back to this in a second. Maybe the only thing is let's just create a function. We're gonna create a function called def. We'll do a thing. Maybe call it get sentiment. Maybe I'll call it get sentiment score. I'm gonna create a function called then get sentiment score. I'm not gonna use I'm gonna use 3.5 turbo because it's cheaper. Just because it's for this example, but you should use GPT-4 because it's much better. Um, uh, should we use 4? Let's use 4. Screw it. Okay, so again, you'll be provide. So now we're gonna make it like an actual function. Um, we don't want Tesla stock specifically. We want like a more generic thing. So let's do something like this. We'll do something like get sentiment score. We'll have a symbol and a content. The content is going to be the article. The model we're gonna use GPT-4. Um, so again, the system, but now you'll be provided an article, and your task is to classify its sentiment on symbol or Tesla or whatever you put, stock specifically between 1 and 100, only return the numeric value. Okay. So let's show you how to do that. I did temperature 0. And again, remember, I had response.choice is 0, message.content. Okay. So this is my get sentiment score function. Okay. So this is my get sentiment score function. Okay, and just to see it works, let's do something like this. Get sentiment score, AMD, Tesla is going to 0, AMD is going to the moon. So this should give you a high sentiment score on AMD, because AMD is going to the moon. So 100. But if you were to do the opposite, it'll give you the opposite. Okay, 1. Tesla's going to 0. Okay, so this was the OpenAI sentiment example. So now let's talk about um, you know what? One more thing maybe is I can show you something let me show you this. Oh, you can, let me just show you getting embeddings. So you can get embeddings. So I'm literally using an example that's that OpenAI gave. So you do like this get embedding. This is on their site. Remember I showed you the embedding, and they have an example called get embedding. I literally am just copying this example. So if you do get embedding, um, and your model is the ADA embedding, and then you're going to do like, let's say, get embedding Tesla sucks, NVIDIA, I don't know, Tesla sucks, AMD is good, etc. You get the embedding, and it's like a embedding vector. And by the way, the dimension of it is um, so let me do embedding in vector. So I can check embedding vector, and then I can do length embedding vector. Okay, so it's 1536 is the dimension. Okay, so this is the OpenAR part. So now let's talk about the interactive brokers. So let's talk about getting news, historical news data from IBKR using IB InSync API. Okay, so how are we going to do this? We are going to first, what are we going to do? So there's this thing called, by the way, I wrote here some notes, so you can go to like Interactive Brokers PWS to get some more information on certain things. So you get like three providers, news providers for free, and then you have to pay for other ones. Let me show you in a second. Also, by the way, the IBM Sync has an example of this of news articles in the recipes. So this thing here, IBM Sync. It's funny. The code has he writes it in one line while I explain in like an hour. Okay, but it has everything. So like real quick is if you go to configure settings, API news configuration, you see I have three of these that come for free. And then for Benzinga, I used to have a subscription. You need the Benzinga subscription. Um, and then you select, sometimes it says your account is not eligible. In this specific account, it is eligible. And then like you have all this market data subscription, and you can choose that and that sort of thing. Okay, so that's great. If you want, Benzinga gives you way more data than the other ones. It's like 35 bucks a month. I'm not sure if it's worth it, but I'm not sure. I thought it was worth it, but like, but anyways, it's 35 bucks a month. Anyways, okay. So, get started. Okay. So, but this is not going to give you enough data to do anything meaningful. So, you probably do need the Benzinga thing. Okay, so but one important thing I want to say is that okay, so the function we're going to be using is called rec. Uh, it's going to be rec historical news, and the start date time and the end date time thing are messed up, and only the start date time thing works. But really, it's like an end date time. But there's going to be so little data if you don't have Benzinga that it's going to have a problem. You really need Benzinga to get this thing to work. So let's just show you how it works anyway. So of course we need to connect the IB to IB. So from IB and sync import star IB equals IB until that start loop. Uh, oh, okay, so how do you get the news providers? So if you do news providers equals ib.rec news providers for news provider in news providers, you can print the news provider, and you're gonna get the three ones that we talked about that come for free. The briefing, and Dow Jones. Okay, but then you're gonna have to you're gonna need this later. You're gonna need to get the provider codes. You're gonna need these codes in a format where you do like plus. So like that's why I do provider codes equals plus, and then code after code. So it'll be like this provider codes. It's plus like that. You're gonna need it for the actual request. So first we of course we define the contract of what we want. So let's do stock Tesla qualified contracts. We're gonna need that because we need the contract ID, and then we're gonna get the I'll call it get headlines slash article info. So this is the main function. So you do headlines equals ib.rec historical news. You give it a contract ID and you do stock.con ID. The provider codes we spoke about above. And this is the key. The start date time and end date time um, are messed up. And this is the reason. Like Benzinga is great. The problem was the API has like a bug. It's not. It's also not IB in sync. It's the TWS thing. In general, is these are messed up. So like, look. So start date time here will work, and it'll give me up until this time. So it really should be called end date time. So if I do like headlines like this, but by the way, if you don't have Benzinga, you're gonna have so little news that you're not gonna even need this. But if you do like headlines DF, uh, you're gonna see. Oops, I shouldn't run this. Oh yeah, you shouldn't. You can't run this like a million times. Uh, well, this should still work, I think. Does it work? Headlines DF. Nope. Okay. Yeah, you can't run it so many times. Okay, so headlines DF, and you see that uh, the latest. By the way, you have barely any data. You really need Benzinga. Um, you okay? So the uh yeah, so you see that the end date is up until this number. So the start date really should be called end date. But let's forget this for a second. Let's just do this whole thing with the whole data because there is there's so little data. You really need Benzinga for this. Uh, so we'll wait until it lets us call it again. So now I created a data frame out of it by doing util.df headlines. And I also wrote symbol, the stock symbol. So I get a data frame. I have time, provider code, article ID, headline, symbol. So this gives us the headline. The headline's a little bit ugly. So maybe we can clean up the headline. So let's maybe do that. Clean up. We can clean up the headline text a bit. So you can do something like spring.split this thing, and then you take the second part of it. So now headlines DF might be a little bit cleaner, the headline. I guess I might have some issues with some exclamation marks, but okay, this is one thing, but we want to get the actual full article. So how do we get the full article? We can get the full article by doing something like this. We can do like article. So this is get full article. So we can do full ID equals headline. Sorry, headline. Okay, so this is headlines DF. Let's call headline as the first headline. Um, so this is just let me show you guys. This is headline. Okay, so what we need the article ID. We also need the provider code, headline dot provider code. And then we call this thing called article. We do article equals id.rec news article, provider code equals provider codes, article ID equals article ID. Ah. There's no article ID, sorry. Subscribe for it's funny this provider code. You just need the one code, sorry. So now you get the article, and then you get like the article text, the article type. I forgot what are the article types again. Maybe it says here. Type. Zero is plain text or HTML, one is binary or PDF. Okay, so that's the article type. Okay, so let's create a function to adding article to a headline DF, the headline data frame. So we can do import pandas as PD, and we can create this like add article function, right? And this add article function, what we're going to have is we're going to get the provider code, the article ID as we did here, and then we're going to request the article, and then we're going to get the article type and the article text, then we're going to return it to the data frame is here, like article type, article text. We're going to use the pandas apply method, and now you see this could take a little bit of time, even though it's a small data set. Working. Could take some time. Okay, then the next step we want once this works is we want to apply the sentiment scores to headlines and article text. So now it worked. You see, we got the article texts and we got the sentiments. Next thing we want to do is we want to apply the sentiment scores to the headlines and article text. So we're going to call the get sentiment score function we defined above. Remember, get sentiment score. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to do something like headlines df article headline sentiment equals headlines df dot article dot headline dot apply lambda L get sentiment score L of we need the symbol, remember, the way I defined it, and we need the headline. So this is the article headline sentiment. I messed up. There's no thing called symbol. What did I call it? I called it symbol. Why is it not symbol? Oh, sorry. You need to write axis equals 1. Okay, so this gives you the headline DF, it gives you the article headline sentiment. And then we can rerun it for article text sentiment. And this might not work if it's like a PDF format. So I called it previously, what did I call it? I called it article text. It's still running, by the way. Article text. And then we get the article text sentiment. And then we can look at, once this is ready, we can look at some sentiment examples. It takes, 3.5 is faster than 4. So, but yeah, so it's funny, we would expect that the sentiment for Tesla gets worse over time, especially since Elon Musk bought Twitter. This is taking a long time. Think oh, it's finished. Okay. GPT 3.5 is much faster. But we're using GPT 4. But let's show you like an example of how like some of these sentiments look like. Um, so we can do while this is running, I'll do it for index row in headlines df dot iter rows. Let's print row the timestamp, row the headline, and row the article headline sentiment. So let's visually inspect some of these, look at some headline sentiment examples, and then after we're going to do look at some article sentiment examples. So the article sentiment examples, let's do something similar. Um, and um, row article text sentiment. Okay, this is still running, so let's wait a little bit. I guess this is the time to get a plug-in. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Makes me motivated to make more videos. Um, I guess this is taking forever. I should have used 3.5. It would have saved me a few cents, and it would have taken a lot faster. So let's just wait a little bit. Okay, wait. Okay, so after I guess let's plan ahead. After we want to look at the sentiment of headlines over time, and then we can do sentiment of article text over time. We'll just plot this to see if there's like some trend. You can't really see it because there's so little data, but we'll just plan ahead for now. Yeah, sorry, this is taking a long time. Um, And then after, let me just plan it even more ahead. We're gonna get the embeddings for the article text, and then we're gonna also get the embedding vector for the headlines. This is a way also to like if you have many documents to cluster them and sort of that sort of thing by getting like the embedding text. So I guess GPT-4 seems to take forever. So yeah, it takes forever. Um, so let's wait patiently. Um, I almost feel like I want to just press like Control C or whatever, and then stop this and then redo it with 3.5. Anyways, I do think the OpenAI's API is really good. There's a lot of things like here it talks about certain things you can do with embeddings, clustering, text search, code search, recommendations, that sort of thing. Hey, it finished. Yay. So let's look at some sentiment examples. So like, okay, so this is Barclays reiterate Tesla coverage with equal weight. Oh, I printed it like this. So maybe I'll print like this so it's more readable. Print sentiment score. Uh, okay, so let's say, okay, Barclays reiterated Tesla coverage with equal weight. That's good. Equal weight is like, I mean, it's not really good, but it's like 50 is good. Tesla recalls 2 million vehicles. That's just the most bullshit. It gave it a sentiment score of 30. Losing tax credit. This is a joke because this is an over-the-air update. Like, Cybertruck launch fails 40. Look how bad these sentiment scores are. Okay, finally, a Jolt with Morgan Stanley upgrade 80, 80. So this is really, really good, these sentiment scores. Because a Jolt means it should go up. This is pretty amazing, honestly. Downgraded, it's 40. To sell, see, sell, it gives you 20. Equal weight, it gives you 40. These are pretty amazing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really impressed. So like if I were also to do this, I'm gonna now show you the article text itself. I'm gonna do because it's a HTML, I do display HTML. I do from IPython.display import display HTML, and I do like I'll do sentiment sport. I'm pretty impressed at this, honestly. So like, okay, so a lot of these are the same. Some of these articles are just like small briefings. So like, Tesla not making a strong move today after report could announce India launch. I don't know. See, it has this big article and it gives it 70. Um, so I guess it's positive. It says like Indian regulators could reduce tariffs, gives it a 70 score. Highly scrutinized. EV recalls 2 million vehicles. Uh, uh, lose tax credit. This seems like a bad thing. 45. Uh, I don't know. I guess the headline one was a little bit better. This one's sentiment scored 20. Um, Tesla launch bust. Cybertruck launch bust. Anyways, like the media has been really bad on Tesla over time, but we don't have enough data here without Benzinga. We really need Benzinga to do anything. But like you can plot over time the headline and article text sentiment. So we're not going to really get a trend because it's so little data, but you'd expect it to be worse over time because like the media started hating Elon more. So maybe yeah, this is kind of ugly. So what if we do something like this? We can do like headlines DF, article headline sentiment 10. Let's smooth it out by doing a moving average. Dot rolling that exponential weighted moving average span span equals 10. Um, article dot mean. So maybe this will smooth it out a bit. Still probably not smooth, but yeah, it does make see. Look, it is getting worse over time. Look, we really need to redo this with the Benzinga data. So this is the article headline sentiment over time. Let's do the article text sentiment. Text. See, it is getting worse over time. Even look, okay, there's the Benzinga thing will definitely like probably prove it like crazy. But see, look, look at it. Look at the overtime. It's interesting. Uh, uh, so you can get the embeddings vector for the headlines. Yeah, that's a little bit frustrating because obviously I lost so much money with Tesla. Anyways, but you can, yeah, you can get the embeddings vectors. So you can remember above. I showed you the get embeddings above. I had this get embeddings where I give it the text, and then you get the embeddings. So we can apply that to the data frame. We can do like embeddings vector, headline. I'll call it headline embeddings, and this will give you the thing for the headline. Oh, this is for article text. I want it for headline. Headline. This is headline embeddings, and then you can do article text embeddings. I'm gonna really try to redo this analysis with a lot more data. So article text embeddings, we do like article text. And by the way, I'm doing the apply, get embeddings. Um, okay, so I have this headline embeddings. Does it work? Yeah, so I get the embeddings like this. So maybe I can add it to the data frame. I can do like headlines BF, headline embed. I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place. Equals headline embeddings. Does that work? And then I can do a headlines EF. Okay. Yeah, I get the embeddings. And now let's do article text embeddings. So we can do a data frame has no thing article text. Article, I call it article text embeddings. So we can do NDF article equals article text embeddings. Uh, and then of course we can save it. Now we get article text embeddings, and then we can save to a data frame headlines df.2csv headline sentiment and text.csv. We can do index equals false. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you really enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, write comments, do whatever it can. And also, I'm gonna make I'm using this Dolly thing, which is another thing with OpenAI. It's like Dolly model. for the image of the thumbnail, but it's probably a bad idea because it gives you pretty bad images. But anyways, hope you enjoyed, and please like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Thank you.